Hello. My name is Ronnie, and I'm on a journey to learn English. I want to share my story with you. It's a simple tale, but it holds a special place in my heart. It's about the first time I spoke English. I live in a small town in India, and while I enjoy English, I don't speak it very well. In school, we focus on reading and writing, and we learn grammar, but we don't get much practice in speaking. I really want to converse with people in English. One day, I went to the market with my sister. We were buying fruits when I noticed a foreign man in the shop who seemed lost. He was trying to communicate with the shopkeeper, but there was a language barrier. The man turned to me and asked, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" My heart raced. I felt scared, but I wanted to help. I remembered a phrase and replied, "Yes, a little." He smiled and asked, "Where is the nearest bus stop?" I knew the answer and wanted to assist him. I thought carefully and said, "Go straight, turn left, the bus stop is near the bank." He thanked me, and I replied, "You're welcome." I felt a wave of happiness wash over me. It was a brief conversation, just 2 sentences, but it marked my first real interaction in English. I used my English to help someone, and that made me proud. After that day, I decided to improve my skills. I started watching English videos, listening to songs, and writing new words in my notebook. I practiced speaking with my sister, asking simple questions like, "What is your name?" and "How are you?" Eventually, I found an English class in my town and joined it. My teacher was very friendly and encouraged us by saying, "You don't need to be perfect, just speak." I appreciated his teaching style. On the first day of class, he asked us why we wanted to learn English. I told him I wanted to communicate with people. He said that was a great reason because English is all about communication. He advised us not to worry about making mistakes and to use English every day. In class, we didn't rely heavily on textbooks. Instead, we engaged in conversations, played games, and shared stories. With each passing day, I grew more confident. My teacher emphasized, "Don't just focus on grammar, speak slowly, speak simply, and speak every day." I took his advice to heart and spoke even when I made mistakes. I also made friends in class, and we practiced together. We exchanged messages in English, shared jokes, and laughed. Learning became enjoyable. A month later, I visited a cafe where I met a woman from the UK. When she accidentally spilled her coffee, I helped her. She thanked me, and I replied, "No problem." She asked if I was from the area, and I said, "Yes, I live nearby." We chatted for about 5 minutes, and she complimented my English. I felt elated and realized that while I still had much to learn, I could communicate and connect with others. Now, I dedicate a little time each day to learning English. I read short stories, listen to podcasts, watch cartoons, and converse with my classmates. I even try to think in English. My English may not be perfect, but I genuinely enjoy the learning process. I'm no longer afraid to speak. That first sentence I spoke gave me the confidence to continue. If you're learning English, don't hesitate to speak your first sentence. Don't wait or feel shy, just try. Start with one word, then two, and soon you'll be forming sentences. You will improve. My ears become accustomed to English, and my brain starts to recognize the sounds. I can understand people better when they speak to me, and I don't have to ask them to repeat themselves as often. I can respond more quickly and feel more confident. Remember, your first sentence can change your life. Chapter 2: My First Job in English. It's Thursday, and today marks my first day at my new job. I feel a bit nervous but excited. I wake up early, dress nicely, and head to the cafe. It's a small but lovely place, bustling with customers in the morning who come for coffee, tea, and food. A woman, the manager, opens the door and greets me with a smile, saying, "Good morning." I respond, "Good morning." She asks if I'm Ronnie, and I confirm. She invites me in and shows me around the cafe, pointing out the counter, tables, and kitchen. She explains my responsibilities, taking orders, serving food and drinks, and cleaning tables. I feel relieved when she assures me, "Don't worry, I'll help you." Next, I meet Tom, another worker from England. He's young and friendly, welcoming me to the team. He tells me, "If you need help, just ask." I appreciate his kindness. At first, everything feels new, and I struggle to understand some words like menu, order, tray, and receipt. However, I pay attention and learn. A customer approaches and asks for a black coffee and a muffin. I respond, "Yes, of course," and relay the order to Tom. When I serve the customer, I say, "Here you are," and she thanks me. I feel happy to be using English to assist others and learn new vocabulary. As time passes, I pick up more phrases, like asking, "Would you like sugar or eat in or take away?" and saying, "Enjoy your meal" or "Have a nice day." These small sentences become useful tools in my daily interactions. I engage with many customers, coworkers, and my manager, speaking English throughout the day. I make mistakes, but no one laughs. They support me and understand I'm learning. Each evening, I reflect on my day, recalling the words I heard and the things I said. Sometimes, I check new words in a dictionary, but I mostly remember them through usage. At school, I share my job experience with my teacher, who praises my efforts, saying, "That's a great way to learn. You're using English every day and hearing real conversations." I feel proud. She tells the class, "You don't need to memorize every word from a book. You learn best by using English in your life. Speak, listen, read, and write a little every day. That's the best method." In the next class, we discuss jobs, and each student shares their experiences or aspirations. I talk about my cafe job, expressing how much I enjoy it and how it helps me learn English. My classmates listen, smile, and ask questions, and I realize something important. When I speak English, I feel strong and happy, and I want to learn even more. Every day brings new lessons. At school, I learn with my teacher and classmates, and at work, I learn from real-life interactions. I use new words, try different sentences, listen carefully, and speak slowly. I'm no longer afraid. This is my way of learning English: reading, speaking, listening, working, and enjoying the process. I don't worry about mistakes, I just keep going. If you're learning English, try to use it every day. Speak with people, listen to them, read something small, and learn new words through usage. This approach works for me. Chapter 3: My first day speaking with confidence. The next day is Thursday, the day I start my new job at the cafe. I feel excited yet a bit nervous. I want to communicate effectively, ensuring people understand me and that I pronounce words correctly. In the morning, I recall my teacher's advice about pronunciation and the shadowing technique. Before heading to work, I search for an English video on my phone. I find a short interview where the speaker talks slowly and clearly. I listen and repeat, trying to mimic his pronunciation. I practice in front of the mirror, observing how I move my mouth. After 10 minutes, I feel ready. At the cafe, I greet my manager, who says, "Good morning, Ronnie." I respond, "Good morning." She informs me that I'll be working at the counter today, taking orders from customers. I reply, "Okay, I'll do my best." The first customer arrives and asks, "Can I have a tea and a croissant, please?" I smile and say, "Yes, 1 tea and 1 croissant." I speak clearly and slowly, and she understands me. I feel a sense of accomplishment. As more customers come in, I focus on pronouncing each word clearly, applying what I learned from shadowing. I take my time, ensuring I don't rush. Some words are challenging, but I keep trying. One man compliments my English, saying, "Your English is very good." I smile and respond, "Thank you, I'm learning." His words boost my confidence, motivating me to speak more. After work, I return home eager to practice again. I replay the same video, aiming to sound even closer to the speaker. I listen, speak, and repeat, honing my skills. Later, I find a short story online about a girl and her dog. It's easy to understand, so I read it aloud and record myself. I compare my voice to a native speaker's reading of the same story, identifying areas for improvement. I practice the difficult words repeatedly. The next day at school, I share my shadowing practice with my teacher, who encourages me, saying, "That's great. If you do this daily, your pronunciation will improve significantly." I promise to keep trying. In class, we practice pronunciation together, repeating short sentences. Some students laugh, but we're all learning and having fun. We pair up to ask and answer questions, focusing on clear pronunciation. We support each other, laughing off mistakes and trying again. My partner from Brazil speaks well, and I ask him how he practices speaking. He shares that he talks to himself in front of the mirror, which I find helpful. I want to try that too. After school, I attend football training and chat with my new friends in English. We discuss football, food, and our homes. Sometimes I mispronounce words, but they understand and help me improve. One boy from Japan tells me, "Your pronunciation is good." I thank him and explain shadowing. He expresses interest in trying it as well. We both smile, realizing that good pronunciation is about effort, listening, and practice. At home, I speak to myself, read aloud, and sing English songs. I repeat phrases I hear in movies and shadow short videos. I learn a little every day. My pronunciation may not be perfect, but it's improving, and I feel more confident. I speak more often and enjoy the process. When you want to improve your speaking skills, don't be afraid. Listen to native speakers, repeat after them, and use shadowing techniques. This is how I learned to speak English with confidence. Chapter 4: How to Learn Grammar. It's Saturday morning, and although I don't have school today, I still want to learn. I reflect on yesterday's lesson where our teacher mentioned that we can learn grammar without heavy studying. This resonates with me because I want to speak well but dislike grammar books. I remember she said reading helps with grammar, so I open a short story on my phone about a boy and his dog. It's easy to understand, and I read it slowly, observing how the sentences are structured. The boy says, "I walk my dog every day," and later, "Yesterday I walked my dog to the park." I notice the difference between walk and walked, which helps me grasp the past tense. I don't memorize rules, I learn through examples, making it easier to remember. I read more stories, paying attention to how people express themselves. When discussing the present, they use words like is, are, go, and play, while in the past, they say was, were, went, and played. In the afternoon, I head to work again. The cafe is busy today, and I have to speak a lot. I ask customers, "Would you like something to eat?" or "Do you want sugar in your coffee?" These simple questions remind me of the stories I've read. I also hear my manager say, "He is making a sandwich," or "They are cleaning the table." I realize this is the present continuous tense. Although I'm not being taught grammar directly, I hear it repeatedly, which helps me understand. When I return home, I visit a grammar website and choose Level 1. There are many short lessons with examples and no lengthy explanations, which I appreciate. I read about the present simple, seeing sentences like "She likes tea" and "He plays football." I already know these sentences, so understanding why we say likes instead of like becomes clearer. Next, I read about the past simple, encountering sentences like, I watched a film and she cooked dinner. I recognize these from earlier stories, enhancing my comprehension. On Sunday, I don't work, so I decide to practice speaking. I stand in front of the mirror and talk about my day, saying, today is Sunday. I don't work today. I woke up at 8 o'clock, had breakfast, and then watched TV. I speak slowly, considering my grammar. It's not perfect, but that's okay. I also talk about yesterday, saying, yesterday was Saturday. I worked at the cafe, spoke to many people, made coffee, and cleaned tables. I use the past tense without any grammar books, relying on what I've read and heard. I remember my teacher mentioning that shadowing helps with grammar too. So, I play a short video of a girl discussing her weekend. I listen and repeat her words, copying her pronunciation. This practice benefits me greatly. On Monday, I return to school, and our teacher gives us a small test. It's not difficult. She reads sentences, and we identify if they are present or past. I get almost all the answers right, which makes me feel good. She praises us, saying, you all did a great job. You're learning grammar through listening and reading, just like babies learn their first language. After class, I chat with my Brazilian friend, who admits he used to dislike grammar but now finds it manageable. I agree, saying, yes, me too. Now I read and listen more, and it helps. He nods in agreement. Later, I go back to work, and my manager tells me, you're improving every day. I smile and respond, thank you. I believe it's true. I can speak better and use better grammar without studying grammar books. This method works for me. I read stories, listen to English, practice shadowing, and talk about my day. I don't stress over grammar rules, I just use English. When you want to learn grammar, don't try to memorize everything. Read, listen, speak, and use English. Grammar will come to you naturally, just as it did for me. Chapter 5: How to Practice Speaking. It's Tuesday morning, and I'm back at school, feeling good and eager to learn more English. I sit in my chair, waiting for the teacher. When she arrives, she announces, today we'll focus on speaking. I'm thrilled because speaking is my favorite part of learning English. The teacher asks, do you practice speaking at home? Some students respond yes, while others say no. One student expresses, I want to speak, but I have no one to practice with. The teacher acknowledges this common issue and shares an interesting idea. You don't always need someone to speak with, you can practice self-talk. You can talk about your day, what you see, or anything at all. I listen intently, eager to try this. The teacher provides an example. When you wake up, you can say, good morning. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making breakfast. I'm going to school. She encourages us to do this daily to improve our speaking skills. She also suggests recording ourselves to listen to our voices, identify mistakes, and try again. Don't be afraid, nobody will laugh. It's just for you. In class, we play a speaking game in pairs, asking and answering questions. I ask my partner, what do you like to eat? He replies, I like pizza, and then asks me, what do you do on weekends? I say, I play football. The teacher circulates the room, listening and encouraging us, saying, very good. Keep speaking. I feel more confident. After school, I walk to the cafe, reflecting on the lesson. I want to practice speaking more, so I start describing my surroundings in English. This is a street. That is a car. I see a dog running and quietly speak to myself. At work, I interact with customers, asking, what would you like? Or, here is your coffee. I focus on speaking clearly, not worrying about mistakes because I know practice will help. One customer asks, where are you from? I respond, I'm from India. She compliments my English, saying, your English is nice. I thank her and mention that I'm learning. We chat for 2 minutes, and I feel proud of my progress. After work, I go home and stand in front of the mirror, talking about my day. Today I went to school, learned about speaking, and worked at the cafe, making coffee and serving customers. I listen to myself and repeat some sentences. Later, I call my friend Anna from school, who is from Spain. I ask, "Do you want to practice English with me?" She enthusiastically agrees, and we talk on the phone for 10 minutes, asking simple questions and speaking slowly. It's enjoyable. Before bed, I watch an English video, listening and repeating what I hear. I practice shadowing, mimicking the voice. The next day, I do the same, speaking with Anna again about food. I say, "I like rice and vegetables," and she responds, "I like pasta." I ask, "Do you cook at home?" She says, "Yes, I cook every day." I also practice self-talk, saying, "Now I am walking." I see a shop. I go inside. I buy water. These small sentences help me. At school, our teacher asks, "Who practices speaking?" I raise my hand, and others do too. She encourages us, saying, "Great. Speaking is the best way to learn a language. Speak every day." I realize I don't need to wait for the perfect moment to speak. I can practice anytime, anywhere. Now, I speak more often, with friends, at work, to myself, and even in my dreams sometimes. When you want to improve your speaking skills, practice often. Speak with people, talk to yourself, and repeat what you hear. Use your voice in your English. This is how I practice speaking, and it works for me. Chapter 6: How to Learn by Listening. It's Thursday morning, and I wake up early, feeling good and ready to learn more English. I remember my teacher's advice from yesterday: if you want to speak well, you must listen a lot. I'm eager to try this. I grab my phone and find a short English story online. I play it and listen carefully. The speaker talks slowly, and I understand many words. I listen again, and this time, I grasp even more. After 3 listens, I fully understand the story about a boy and his dog. I learn new vocabulary and sentence structures, repeating what the speaker says. At school, our teacher announces, "Today we'll focus on listening." She explains that listening is a fantastic way to learn English, as it enhances speaking, grammar, and overall comprehension. She encourages us to listen to English every day, whether it's short stories, news, or simple conversations. You don't have to understand every word, just listen and enjoy. I love this idea. She also emphasizes the importance of listening multiple times. The first time, just listen; the second time, try to understand; and the third time, repeat after the speaker. This technique is called shadowing, which I already practice often. It helps with my pronunciation and allows me to hear grammar in context. Our teacher plays a short audio of a girl talking about her family. She says, "My name is Emily. I live with my parents and my brother. My brother is older than me." I understand most of it and repeat her words. The teacher smiles and praises us, saying, "Well done." After school, I walk home and put in my earphones, playing an English podcast. The speakers talk slowly about food and travel, a topic I enjoy. I listen and smile, even if I don't catch every word. I hear one speaker say, "I really enjoy trying new food," and I repeat it, saying it over and over until I remember it. At home, I have lunch and then head to work at the cafe. While cleaning tables, I practice speaking to myself, saying, "This table is clean. That table is dirty. I am cleaning now." This self-talk helps me remember new vocabulary. After work, I want to listen more, so I find a short video about a woman who loves animals. She talks about her cat and dog, speaking clearly. I understand her well, so I listen to the video twice. I jot down new words, focusing on those I like, such as animal lover, pet, and feed. I use them in sentences. I am an animal lover. I want a pet. I feed my cat every day. This method helps me grasp the words better through listening and speaking. The next morning, I listen to the same video again, and I remember more. The words and sentences feel easier. I feel happy when I talk to Anna at school, saying, "I listen to English every day now." She replies, "Me too. I listen when I cook and walk." It helps a lot. Our teacher encourages us, saying, "If you listen to English for 15 minutes every day, your English will improve quickly." You don't need a book or grammar rules, just listen and enjoy. I follow this advice daily, listening in the morning, before bed, and while waiting for the bus. I use my time wisely to learn. Sometimes I don't understand much, but that's okay. I keep listening, and each time, I learn more. My ears become accustomed to English, and my brain starts to recognize the sounds. I can understand people better when they speak to me, and I don't have to ask them to repeat themselves as often. I can respond more quickly and feel more confident. When you want to speak English well, remember to listen a lot. Listen every day, choose easy materials, repeat words, and use sentences in your speech. This is how I learn by listening, and it truly works for me.